Hello, everyone. I only have 5 minutes, but this is actually a lot of fun because I know we'll just run out. But Sasha being here, finally I'm not under so much pressure to deliver all of that other stuff, which is not so interesting to me as it is to talk about the art. Am I too loud? Okay. Right. Well, I have a few points. These artworks that you see over here are mine. And because I only have 5 minutes, I'm going to have to do a fair amount of number and name dropping in order for this to be interesting. So you might look into this a little bit later. But I prepared a few notes. So I have about 350 art pieces that are digital high-resolution originals. And I've been trying to educate the art world that a digital piece can be an original, and of course they didn't care because the blockchain didn't exist in the kind of form that it does right now, and especially with all the applications that Ethereum has, it's really made it relevant. And I'm ever so happy that these kind of platforms, and we get to work together with Codex protocol from the get-go, as well as now start to collaborate with Sasha. But for example, this piece over here, it's been on Forbes a couple of times. It's originally a digital original, but the previous two were collected by an exchange and a hedge fund, and they wanted their own logos in them. So this is the last repaint that exists. It was just on City AM, gracing the pages over here, and it's my main website piece, and it's gotten a ton of attention. And that's the last one available. I mean, it's a disgusting price. It's $70,000. But thinking that this is when Bitcoin forked into Bitcoin, some call it Core, I find that ridiculous. But Bitcoin, let's call it for this, Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin Cash. So at that moment, that made a significant movement in Bitcoin and solidified it into an art object that is way more rare than 21 million. So that's one thing. I'd really recommend you guys, if you haven't picked up a City AM paper for a while, it has a whole page on crypto by the Crypto Insider. So I think that's one revolution in and of itself, that there's a free paper given out as a mainstream publication that has a whole spread on crypto. That's quite something. So if you do want to read what I said in that, because that would condense, if I had a half an hour, what I really have to say about this whole thing, you'll find that on artforcrypto.com on the fraud page, so you can actually read it. I'm not going to go further into that. So onto the name dropping. This piece over here that you'll see in the back, it's called The Blood on the Podcast Floor, and I made it because I did a trip to Las Vegas, and we had a common mission with the Bad Crypto Podcast guys, and it ended up being my Dogecoin. And it started getting all of these supersized signatures, like you have Charlie Lee, you have Brock Pierce, you have Vinnie Lingham, you have Ronnie Moas, you now have Peter McCormack, Andreas Antonopoulos signed it. And basically, I'm not going to let it go before I get at least $1 million raised to this charity called Hawk, which is a women's center in Houston fighting against sexual and physical violence towards women. And next up, I'm going to be in Las Vegas again for the Litecoin Foundation project, as well as the World CryptoCon again. And I'll be on stage right after Tim Draper this time, I think, and I'm going to try and get him to sign it, and a few others. Naomi Brockwell is going to go there. So that's going to keep building momentum, and that was on Forbes as well a while ago. So I'm just saying this kind of attention and these types of visual things of making blockchain into something that is pop culturally relevant helps the whole space. And this is what I'm trying to do, is to build these kinds of bridges. I am selling some of these pieces. You can make me offers, especially with Bitcoin and Ethereum and those kind of currencies, and I'll probably sell them for about half the price of what I'm asking on my website. So if you are thinking about getting a rare collectible like this, and you might collect it with coins, make an offer. So I look at most of the museums and galleries kind of like some people who are heavy into crypto might look at major banks or the Federal Exchange or those kinds of things. And without going into too much detail into that, this is why I'm happy to see these kind of new art exchanges and people who are making these revolutionary concepts happen, because they're doing the BTC of the art world, which is in the finance world bubble. And this is how I see it. Yeah, that's probably more than 5 minutes. And please come and talk to me if you found this interesting. I'll convince you further to let go of some of your coins so you'll get some of these. Thanks.